welcome or welcome back to the channel. Elevated Spirits. It's Jazi, your favorite Cali reader. This is going to be your message for this new moon solar eclipse, okay, happening on April 8th. I'm really excited to do these readings just because I feel like it's really necessary at this time, and I feel like it's going to help and benefit, a lot of us, right? So first of all, let me just say thank you for those of you who have stuck around and been patient with me as I honor the cycles of my body. The full moon and, the energies that's been, Mercury retrograde, all the planets, all the things that's been happening. When my cycle came, it hit me like a ton of fucking bricks and put me out for days. So, for those of you, like I said, who have stuck around and been patient with me as I, like I said, I was forced to basically honor the cycles of my body. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for still being here. Okay. For, coming, showing up with me as I show up for you. All right. So we're going to get into this reading, just lighting some sage. Okay. So I hope y'all are doing well. Happy New Year. Let me be one of the first ones to tell you happy, real, true New Year. Okay. Today is not April Fool's Day. All right. We're no fools over here. Okay. We're not playing any games anymore. All right. So, I am going to start with some oracles. I haven't looked at any of them yet. I just laid them out as they came out. I started with some tarot to afterwards to clarify, and then I will clarify further on camera, like, real time, I guess you could say, with a whole different deck. Okay. And then we'll close out with some advice from your ancestors. So I'm going to get into this reading for you guys. A lot of healing is taking place. I feel like collective, you guys are coming into this energy of really discovering who you are at the core, and I feel like it's so necessary. And I know a lot of us have been hearing, I feel like a lot of that has been getting messages about that, but haven't really been feeling it, haven't really been able to embody what that really means. Okay. And so what this feels like is the fears that you guys are being, that's what this reading is going to be about. Sorry if I didn't express that already. This reading is based around our fears. What fears are we, is spirit, your guides, the Most High right now asking us to acknowledge, work through, and release. Okay. That is what this reading is based around. And I feel like it's so important right now. It's so fucking important. So, and that's going to be based around this new moon solar eclipse. Okay. This is going to be bringing things to the surface. This time is going to be illuminating things. It's going to be revealing truths, helping you see things clearly, see people clearly, see situations clearly, see the world clearly. Okay. And some of that can be quite scary. And that's why I was guided to do this type of reading for this event, was because it's like when you are able to acknowledge what scares you, and when you realize that it's not nearly as scary as you thought it was, or at least in the sense of it might scare you because you don't know what's on the other side of that. But when you see it for what it is, and you realize that it's only as scary as I give power to that, you know what I'm saying? It's only as scary as I choose to see it. That's where the power lies. Okay. And that's again why this is so important, because there's been a lot of, I feel like, fear mongering. And it's not to say to not prepare for what may or may not happen, right? I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it type of energy. So that's me personally. So I can understand why, for some of this stuff, it's kind of like, okay, it's good to know, right? But it also feels like there is a lot of fear that is been pushed onto the collective as well. And a lot of us, and I say us because I'm part of the collective, but it's been difficult for a lot of people to really take in the information and apply it as they can without letting it scare the shit out of them. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like this, it's why I was guided to do this type of reading, is because I feel like it's important for us to identify what our fears are, where they've come from. And that way, once you see them for what they are and realize that, oh shit, that's nothing to be scared of in the first place, is the easier it makes it to actually navigate through it and release it. Okay. So that is what this reading is based around. So I hope y'all enjoy it. I really pray that you find value. And if you do, I'd really appreciate if you like this video, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, share it with someone that can use it. Okay. So like I said, happy true new year. Okay. So yes, that's like a whole different video in itself. If you fucking know. I'm not gonna, try to explain it at this time, because it's just, this isn't that video. So like I said, if you know, but happy true new year. Okay. I pray that all the seeds you've planted, all the dreams that you have, all the the things that you've been asking for, wishing for, putting in time, energy, effort for, towards. I pray that it prospers, it grows, and it thrives to the fullest possible capacity. Okay, so let's get into this for the collective. All right. So first question is, what are these fears? What are the fears that you're being asked to work through at this time? Okay, and so we had 3 cards that came out. All right, I used 2 decks and 3 came out. So the first card that came out was the Magician and the Mirror. Okay, so this is card number 8. The 53 reduces to an 8. Okay, so that's the first one. We then have Door to Value, which is 31, reduces to a 4, and then we have Strength. Okay, so what I'm getting here, collective, is the fears that you're being asked to work through at this time are, like I said, it feels like this energy of knowing who the fuck you are. Okay, before I even saw those, where I was initially getting the messages from were these cards that were on the bottoms of the decks that I used. Okay, Finding and Door to Personal Healing and Happiness. So what that was giving me, like I was saying, is it's like discovering, who you are, finding new, like kind of like discovering new things about you. It's about, things that were once lost is being replaced type of energy. So what this feels like is the fears that it feels like some of you are being asked to acknowledge at this time is, where are you not believing in yourself? Where are you not acknowledging how powerful you really are? You know what I'm saying? It's like this energy of knowing that I am a magician. I am the creator. I've acknowledged that, or needing to acknowledge that I am the co-creator of my reality, and really stepping into that, really embodying that for what it is. Okay. And I don't mean in this, oh, I'm like, what does that smell? I don't mean that in a sense of this fairy tale woo-woo type of, way of like, oh, we're all magicians and, we just make things disappear and appear. No, it's way deeper than that. This is way deeper than that. This is more so in the sense of being an extension of the Most High Creator, and acknowledging that us, like Yeshua, okay, those who believe that Jesus Christ is the real God, which is not, he was essentially an ascended master that came here in a human form. I'm watching 2 crows kind of just circle navigate. Those are messengers, okay? So, Yeshua was the human form, okay, the human incarnation of the prime example of what it means to be an extension of the Most High, okay? And that living in your truth can be scary, okay? People will come against that, but it doesn't denote or doesn't take from the fact that you still are that powerful to create your own reality. And so some of you, like Yeshua, okay, there may be fears surrounding acknowledging how powerful you really are, acknowledging your own magic within, okay, being an extension of the Most High Creator. Some of you have been really having a hard time acknowledging, how powerful you really are, and acknowledging, how valuable your light is, how valuable your energy is. Understand that, this world we've been taught and conditioned to value things outside of us, especially money, right? Monetary, tangible things, tangible items, right? Not realizing that all that is energy, okay? So at the same time, meaning that as those things go away, you also have the ability to draw them to you, okay? It's all energy, meaning it flows like water, right? That's why it's called currency, right? It's like the current sea, right? As the tides go out and it comes back, as it flows out, it comes back, right? That is a flow. It has to flow, meaning it has to circulate, right? Otherwise it becomes stagnant and then things stop moving, right? So I feel like some of you, collective, are being asked to really acknowledge how valuable your energy really is, how valuable your currency, which is the energy that you hold within you, acknowledging how powerful it really is. Okay, some of you are really being asked at this time to acknowledge the fear you have surrounding how strong you are. Okay, it's like a lot of us have been taught to really downplay our strength, to really downplay our ability to power through our challenges, to overcome them, to even acknowledge them, see them for what they are, see them for what they're not, and overcome them. Not even just overcome, but thrive beyond them. Not just survive them, thrive beyond them, right? And so I feels like you guys are really being asked to, us as a collective, are really being asked to ask the hard questions. Where did this start? You know what I'm saying? Get to the root. That's how you get to the root cause of things, is think back as far back as you possibly can and acknowledge, when was the first time that I was made to believe that I wasn't strong? When was the first time that I was, that someone came against me when I wanted to, when I felt like I wanted to create something or I wanted to do something, and I was knocked down, like the idea was totally knocked down, totally, made to believe that that was impossible. When was the first time that that happened? Okay. That is where some of you are really being asked to look at this time. Okay. Some of us, even myself, right? From a toddler age, like I've been going through that literally since that young, from family. Unfortunately, it is what the fuck it is. So I've always been the black sheep, but really more so the light sheep, the light bright sheep, right, of the family, which is fine because I'm the only one in my family that looks like this, believe it or not. Okay. So, at least out of my grandmother's kids, grandkids. So it's, unfortunate truths, but it makes sense now. Being where I'm going, the path that I'm on, it makes complete sense of why that was, why that was my story, right? And so some of you, because of the things that have happened since you were a kid, have been happening maybe for so long, have been repeating themselves. For some of you, this is a cycle. This is something that has been ongoing for as long as you can remember. And there, in this new moon solar eclipse is now, I feel like, bringing you to a point where that can no longer exist. Okay. Where you're being now asked to step into who you truly are, the truth of who you are, the depth of who you are. Like for me, I used to get, people used to make fun of me and talk shit about how sensitive I was. It was like really easy to make me cry. And not realizing now, looking back on it, I could feel things. I could feel people's fucking feelings. I could feel people's anger. I could feel their emotions, right? And I didn't know how to process that because I wasn't taught, right? So some of you have gone through and experienced the same thing, where you've been essentially made to undervalue yourself, undervalue the truth, the light of who you are. And now you're being asked to acknowledge that, to admit that within yourself, if that resonates. That's not going to be for all of you, but for those of you where you know that you've been at some point in your life ridiculed or punished or persecuted, so to speak, for being too sensitive, being maybe too blunt for some of you, being too honest, can see through people's bullshit, right? Being too observant, okay? Being too strong, right? For some of you, this has to do with having a strong masculine energy within you, okay? And some of you, that's about really allowing yourself to acknowledge that I am strong and I don't need to hide my strength. My strength is my power, right? But my vulnerability is as well. That's where we establish balance, right? So clarifying that energy is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So for some of you, this has to do with your work, okay? Some of this has to do with the work that you do. This could have happened, maybe started when, in a workplace, a work environment. For some of you, this has to do with your, like the work, like I said, that you actually do, a job that some of you are in. Others of you, this has to do with your, like, giving up on something, ready to give up. Some of you have given up on yourself, given up on maybe the work that you do because of a fear that it won't be valuable. It won't be seen for the unique power that it holds. Okay, that it won't maybe open up doors of opportunity that you deserve. So for some of you, that is the fear here that you're being asked to acknowledge. That if you don't believe it first, you can't expect others outside of you to believe in the work that you do. And I can totally see and overstand where this message is talking to me in particular. I can definitely acknowledge that. I can see that. I can, like I said, and when I do this, understand this is me and my connection to the Most High. Just so you know, when I talk like that, when I'm doing this, okay, because I know that, the powers that were, right, like to use this symbol, okay, for other meanings. But for me, if you know mudras at all, this is about your connection to you and the Most High, where all the other elements, a part of you, have nothing to do with it. It's just you and the Most High. Understand, okay? Do your research. But I don't know why I was guided to share that, but I'm acknowledging, my mindfulness is letting me know that I'm connecting to the Most High when I'm, speaking like, you know, when I'm using my hands in that way. So, but yeah, so like I said, for some of you, this has to do with the work that you've been doing. Some of you have given up on it because you're not connected to your own magic. Some of you are having a hard time believing that what you work, the work that you do, what you want to put time, energy, and effort into, that it won't yield the results that you want, that it won't open up doors of opportunity that you deserve. And for some of you, that's your own fear standing in the way. So some of you, it's time to acknowledge the strength within, to really see what the goals that you have, whatever it is that you've been working towards, seeing it through to the end. For some of you, it's your follow through. Your follow through game ain't shit. and for me, I can see exactly where that, you know, that speaks to me too. It's just like being completely honest, because, you know, we need that sometimes. And that's coming from the most loving place, because like I said, that's me telling myself as well. Okay. That's for some certain things, my follow through game ain't shit. And that's why though, because of things that have happened, that there's a fear of, well, if I push through, if I see it to the end, what if it is successful? What if I can't handle it? So for some of you, that is this fear here, is that some of you have a fear of it actually working, of actually getting what you want out of a situation, of actually receiving, getting reciprocated the value that you hold, and not being able to sustain it or maintain it. That's a fear that some of you are really being asked to work through at this time, collective, because some of you have maybe already given up, okay, on yourself, on the work that you do, whatever it is that you're being guided to share with the world. Some of you have already given up on it. And that's why though, because, and it's not because you can't do it, it's because some of you have a fear of success. And so you're being asked at this time to really acknowledge and allow yourself to see, where have what situation happened? What happened as a child or in a work situation? Where's the first time you can identify and acknowledge that told me or made me feel that I couldn't handle the success that came out on the other side of something I was working on, or something that I wanted to invest in, something that I wanted to, you know, create or accomplish? Who was the first person that made you feel like you couldn't handle it? Who was the first person that projected onto you their own fear of success to make you think you wouldn't have it either? See what I'm saying? So some of you are being asked to acknowledge that at this time, okay? So next category, what is challenging this? So what is making this a challenge for you guys? So some of you, this was a father figure, okay? Masculine energy here. Some of you, this was a masculine energy so those of you that had a father figure in your life, okay? This could have been a dad. This could have been just a man in your life that raised you, okay? This could have been a spouse, okay? A husband, a child's father. You know, it could have been a teacher. It could have been a boss. It's going to look different for all of you. But for some of you, whoever this person was, that is who this is talking about in your experience. That is maybe challenging you. Maybe, you know, like I said, and that makes sense though, because, you know, in this society, our men, you know, in particular, have been, you know, ostracized, have been made to feel, you know, inadequate, emasculated, right? And so when you're coming, you know, a lot of us who are women especially, you know, have ideas, and we're like, you know, super pumped up about it, and we're just like super confident in it. You know, it's normal. It makes sense given the conditioning that they would come against you. Like, I've even experienced that with people that I've dated or tried to date, you know, try to get to know and things like that. People that I wanted to date, thought I wanted to date, high on, strong emphasis on the thought I wanted to date, made me feel small because they felt small. So when they saw my light and saw the things that I was going for, the things I wanted to create, me sharing my ideas with them, thinking they'd be, you know, supportive, they couldn't be supportive because they were projecting, essentially still holding on to fears that other people projected onto them. And then so they, instead of healing those things and releasing it, they projected it onto me. It made me feel like, oh, well, what if I can't do it? Because they didn't feel like they could. So some of you are experiencing the same thing. And this, like I said, could have started with a father figure of some sort. For some of you, it is a father figure. Others of you, this is just someone, it could have been a woman. For those of you that were raised in a single parent home, even though my dad was in my life my whole life, that wasn't who I spent most of my time with. For me, it was my mother, who was operating heavily in her own masculine energy. Okay, so for some of you, that could have been the same thing, where it doesn't, understand masculine doesn't always mean a man. It doesn't always mean, it's not always gender. Okay, it's not always gender specific. Some of you, it definitely was. Others of you, this could have been a mother figure, okay, that operated heavily in her masculine energy. That could have also, like I said, projected onto you this feeling of unworthiness, undeservingness. You're not valuable. That's not going to get you anywhere. So some of you are now being asked, this new moon solar eclipse is for some of you illuminating that. The fears that you've been holding on to about your success, about what's possible for you, about the work you've been doing, that some of you have been made to feel like, I need to give up, that I can't do it. I can't see it through to the end. Because if you notice, this is the 8. That means two more pentacles, and it's the whole everything. The 10, that's what you really want to get to, right? Not the ace. The ace is the seed. That's the potential. The 10 is everything in between and seeing it through to completion, through to that brand new life, right? Which is everything. For me, that is the happiest card in the deck as a reader. But, so clarifying this masculine energy, we had 2 other cards that came out, and we have 5 and a 4, 5, 4. So for some of you, this could be like a countdown. Someone, like I said, trying to pull you backwards. Like I said, it's a masculine energy. So it could be, like I said, a woman operating heavily in her masculine energy, okay? Or this could be an actual father figure who is kind of like maybe a toxic masculinity. Someone who's just, who operates from a place of control, not support, okay? There's a difference. So this person could be a Taurus. We also have Pisces here, okay? So, yeah, for some of you, this is definitely someone who is trying to say, all right, my bad, that was my alarm. My son's on spring break, but my alarm still went off to pick him up because I forgot to turn it off. So anyway, like I was saying, for some of you, this is a masculine energy that is trying to, like I said, hold you back. Okay, this person, it feels like this is a person who needs to go within, who needs to do some self-reflecting, but they haven't done that. Okay. Others of you, this could be your own energy, your own masculine energy that's being illuminated at this time. That could be what's challenging you, is your own masculine energy that is in this state of flux, in this state of change. That's needing, for some of you, it's a part of your ego, not your shadow, your ego, because they're different. Your ego, for some of you, is needing to go through a metamorphosis, a transformation, okay? And that's only going to come when you decide to actually do the inner work by going within, okay? So some of you, that is what's presenting itself here, is an opportunity to go into the unknown, to go into your subliminal, your subconscious mind, okay? And that could be what, for some of you, what's being challenged here, because at the bottom of the tarot deck that I'm using is the Sun card. And it's interesting how underneath that is the Leo, the Strength. 2 major arcanas here at the bottom. So this is unseen energy, okay? Some of you, you're about to see how powerful and strong you really are, okay? And what's interesting is that what first came out with the Oracle deck is Strength. Strength here is here twice. And you see that big ass sun? That is what's giving me this solar eclipse energy here, okay? That is, it's bright. Look, 2 suns here, okay? And all Leo cards, right? So, like I said, for some of you, could be dealing with the Leo. You might be a Leo. This is, collective reading, so take it as it applies. But like I said, some of you are about to see how strong you really are. Some of you are about to see how powerful you really are. And I mean that in the most humble and balanced way. Okay? This isn't anything to pump you up, gaslight you, or blow up your head. This is way deeper than that. Way deeper than that. So some of you may be finding yourself disconnecting from people at this time. Okay? Some of you may be feeling like you're going through having misfortunes. Things may be falling apart. It feels like some connections for some of you may be breaking apart. Okay? Some of you, if there is a masculine energy, this connection could be going through a state of flux at this time. Okay? It could be changing. Okay? And that could be presenting challenges. But understand that it's an opportunity. At the end of the day, it's still an opportunity for you to really go within. Okay? To really trust your intuition and step into your power, step into your inner strength. Some of you are being called to step into your inner strength in a way that you never have before, in a way that you maybe never thought you would have to. You're being asked to do that at this time, regardless of what that's about. Okay, it's going to be different for all of you. So clarifying that is the Two of Swords. Okay, so this is the unknown. This is something that some of you haven't been wanting to look at. You don't want to see. That is what the Two of Swords represents. It's not only about, you know, kind of like being in this teeter-totter energy of I don't know what decision to make, being at a crossroads, but this also represents hidden information. That could be what's challenging, is that some of you, it feels like, you know, this is the blindfold being over your eyes, like I don't know what to do. Now, that could be that could be a challenge, as in information that someone is not presenting to you, okay? And that could be a masculine energy, okay? There could be some type of misfortune. Someone could be going through something and they're not telling you about it. And that could be creating, you know, making kind of like projecting, making things challenging for you. Others of you, this has to do with something that maybe you're not wanting to look at yourself, okay? That's a self-imposed thing, okay? So if there's something that you're knowing that you're needing to identify, this is where Spirit is telling you, like, it's time to look at this. Some of you, that is exactly what this Two of Swords was representing, is something that you're not wanting to look at yourself, that you know it's there, and you know eventually you'll have to face it, but as long as you sweep it under the rug, we can't see it, but it's like, you know, if you lift up that rug, it's going to be right there in front of you, right? That's what this is for some of you, okay? Like I said, it's going to be different for all of you, so please take only what applies. But you're being asked to really face, I feel like it feels like your own power. For some of you, this is about stepping into your own masculine energy. And if there is a masculine around you that's trying to keep you from doing that, it's only reflecting back to you the strength that you really have inside, that someone else is trying to make you, it's like showing you how you're covering up or suppressing your own masculine energy. That's the only reason why it's reflecting itself outside of you, is because it's trying to get you to identify it and see it. That's all. Like every time we encounter certain people, that's all they're doing, is reflecting back to us the energy we're emitting, right? So they're showing us what we're needing to address within ourselves. So that's a good thing, right? It's just a matter of how you choose to see it. So let's see. So what is one way, at least one way, that we can overcome, that the collective can overcome this? Boop, boop, boop. Yang. Okay. This is number one. For some of you, this is about putting yourself first. Stepping into your masculine energy and being that for you that you didn't have as a child growing up. For some of you, this is, if you, like myself, who had maybe a father figure around, but they weren't really around all the time when you needed them, especially when you needed their protection, they weren't there. That's how it was for me. For some of you, this is stepping into that. This is stepping into that energy that you didn't have as a kid and doing that for yourself now. Some of you haven't been felt like you were strong enough to do that because you didn't know how to do it back then. So it's like carrying that with you as an adult, not knowing how to be there for yourself because you weren't modeled that. You didn't have that example to know what that was like. And so some of you are really being asked to step into that for yourself at this time, okay? So then we have 17, the fates. So this has to do with karma. This has to do with fated events, destiny, okay? So this is about understanding that everything that has happened in your life up until this point happened exactly how it's supposed to. Meaning, if it was meant to happen any differently, if it should have happened any differently, it would have. So allow yourself to acknowledge that things played out exactly how they were meant to. So that means that I couldn't have done anything differently. I feel like you can find peace in that. You can find solace in that. And knowing that I did the best I could with where I was at, the information I had, and the resources that were available to me. That if things were meant to be any different, they would have been. I needed those experiences. I needed those projections. I needed those painful, wounds. I needed those things. My soul signed up for those things in this lifetime, meaning everything played out exactly how it's supposed to. So for some of you, one way to overcome these challenges and these fears is by stepping into that masculine energy, being that person for you that you needed back then. But also acknowledging and understanding, understanding, overstanding, okay? That everything that played out was exactly how it was meant to. The people in my life, they did the best they could with where they were at, with what they knew at that time. That's something I've had to make peace with and forgive them for not being at a better place, for not doing better in my life, for not giving more, for not giving more than they did. They did their best. And if it was meant to be any different, it would have been. Period. So, it's interesting. We have 5-4 here. And then, of course, my tissue's way over there. 5-4 and then 2-1. So, a way to overcome is we have olive branch and roses. Okay? And this is beautiful. Pisces is shown up here twice. So Pisces may be a sign of significance for some of you. And then we also have Scorpio. Okay? So those signs may be of significance. So we have truce, surrender, come to terms, make amends, agree to disagree, halt, peace offering, de-escalate. Wow, this is beautiful. Love, romance, affection, appreciation, devotion, friendship, fidelity, attached, yearning, high emotional IQ, gifts. Okay, so for some of you, this is essentially about seeing how everything played out how it was supposed to and essentially making amends. If this means forgiving your father, even whether they're still here or not, or that whoever that masculine energy was for you, this is about making amends with that person. Even if, for example, it wasn't a person, even if it's something internally within you, this is still treating them as if it's out like another person, right? And making amends with them, you know, forgiving them and being like, you know what, you did the best you could with where you were at. You supported me as much as you could with the knowledge you had. You protected me and provided for me the best way you knew how. You have to understand that a lot of us, like my parents even, the things that I felt like I needed from them that they couldn't give me, I had to understand that they didn't have that for themselves. So how could they possibly give that to me? You see what I'm saying? It's the same as like expecting someone to teach you how to swim if they've never been in the pool. How is that possible? You see what I'm saying? So if you allow yourself to see it from that perspective, that if they had it, they probably would have gave it. And if they didn't, it's because they couldn't possibly give you what they didn't have for themselves. Okay? So clarifying that is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's a brand new start. Okay? This is, you know, coming to terms with, you know, things, how it happened the way it needed to, and now you can start over. Now there's an opportunity to start over, clean slate, brand new start, plant a new seed. So it's like, for those of you, this could be obviously starting over with a person, especially if it's like a parent or something like that. Others of you, this is starting a new life, meaning you take the cards you were dealt and you decide, you know what, I'm going to reshuffle my deck. I'm going to reshuffle my cards and deal them differently. I'm going to, like I did, I threw away the whole deck. I was like, I'm just going to create myself a new deck because I am that powerful. I am essentially the magician in my life. I am the co-creator of my own reality. And so that was, for me, what I decided to do. So for some of you, that is what this Ace of Pentacles represents, is, you know, planting a new seed. Okay? Meaning changing a story, telling a new story about your life. Okay? Telling a new narrative. Adopting a new narrative. Right? However that looks for you, it's totally possible. It's just about a matter of what you decide you want to do. Okay? You don't have to do that. You don't have to believe it's possible, but that's where you limit yourself, is believing that, well, because it happened, then I have to accept that that's the past. And who said that? Is that a conditioning that you were made to believe, that because it happened that you have to take that and stay with it and decide to keep it in your experience, to hold on to it, to validate, you know, who you are, why you are the way you are now. You don't have to do that. That's just conditioning. That's what we were told, right? So there's an opportunity here for you to, like I said, change the narrative and decide to make your own rules. That's what I'm doing. And I love it. I fucking love it here. Okay? So I do shit differently. I spell things differently. I make up new words. Okay? I have new beliefs. And it's a process. It doesn't happen all overnight, right? But it's a choice. It's a choice. You know, when people ask me, and guess what? I tell them, it's because I'm choosing to do shit differently, and it works for me, right? I'm glad that people ask questions, though. Like, for example, when I spell a lot of things, I don't really do it with people that I know because they know me. But when I'm like speaking, like on posts and social media, things like that, I spell, instead of the I with the dot, I spell EYE. And that's part of why I do that is it's a mindfulness practice for me, because it slows me down, because I have to edit it sometimes. It helps me have to go back over and rethink, make sure that what I'm saying, that it's true to me, that I intuited those thoughts, that it came from my inner higher self, that I'm not responding from a place of ego. I'm responding from a place of it's well thought out and it's true to me. See what I'm saying? And so for me, that's what that does. And a lot of people think that I'm just trying to be different and trying to be extra. I don't give a fuck, okay? Because it works for me. It's a mindfulness practice. So, okay. So let's clarify this why is this Eight of Pentacles in reverse for the collective spirit? Why is that here? The Prince of Wands, flipped out in reverse. So for some of you, this has to do with something you're not taking action on. And I feel like for some of you, it has to do with it's like you don't have the passion. Like the passion that you had for something isn't there. And that has to do with, like I said, I feel like for some of you, it's like you're not acting on something. You gave up on something. You're not taking action on something because some of you are scared of your own power. Okay. And some of you, also, it's not maybe that you don't believe in it. For some of you it is, but for others of you, it's because you're not passionate about something. And some of you maybe have a hard time deciphering the difference between, am I scared of success, or is this just something I'm not as connected to as I thought I was, or as I once was. Okay. So again, when you allow yourself though to go within and really take that time to look at these fears, right, that are coming up for you at this time, or that this solar eclipse is bringing up for you, you'll know what it is. If it's really just something that I'm not doing anymore because I just generally am not passionate about it anymore, or am I not passionate about it because I don't really believe that it'll yield the results that I want. Okay. Am I scared of the success that is possible to come out of that if I actually pursue it full on, if I actually follow it through from beginning to end? Am I scared of the success and my ability to maintain it? Or did I really just lose the passion for it and my drive for it? Or is it because I'm not getting the results that I want as fast as I want? That goes back to the reasoning, why you're doing what you're doing. Some of you would benefit by getting clear about why you do the things that you do, why you're working towards the things you're working towards. Because when you have a clear knowing of why you're doing it, that's what's going to drive you when you don't have the motivation. When you're not inspired, that's what's going to push you and keep you going, because you're clear about why you're doing it, why you even started, right? So even when it feels like it doesn't working, it doesn't matter. Even if you're not getting the results that you want when you think you want them, it's not going to matter, because your why is bigger. So let's keep going. So let's clarify the Two of Swords. Why is it here for the collective? Okay, that was fast. Ten of Wands. So some of you, like I said, these are things that are weighing you down. For some of you, these are projections that other people placed on you, that some of you have been carrying, that don't belong to you. And some of you have not wanted to look at it. Others of you, this is your own baggage, things that you've kind of like taken on through through experiences, through life, and you're still holding on to them. Okay. This is something you're going to have to look at, though. That's the only way to drop it, is to acknowledge that I'm holding it, right? It's like if I'm holding bags of groceries that are heavy as shit, right? The only way I'm going to realize that is to look at them and be like, oh shit, I'm still carrying these let me put these things down, right? So some of you, it is really that simple. It's simple concept. It's just not easy, right? It's simple to be like, just drop them, drop the bags. But maybe it's not easy because of how many you're holding and the way that you've put them on, the way you've decided to carry them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta, deconstruct the way I put these on my wrists to carry them in the first place, right? So some of you, that it kind of is like, you know, feels like that's what's happening here. Okay. Doesn't make it impossible, but you do have to acknowledge, right? Take the blindfold off, acknowledge that they're there. Acknowledge the weights, the energetic weight that you're holding, the burdens that you're carrying, the projections that some of you have taken on, the fears you've taken on from other people in your life. Okay? You have to acknowledge it though, before you can decide, I want to drop this. I don't need to carry this anymore. This doesn't belong to me. It never did belong to me. Okay? Some of you, that's what's challenging you right now, is what you're carrying that you're not willing to look at. For some of you, it's really that simple. What burdens, what baggage am I still carrying? Whether it came from me or not, whether it's from my experiences or someone else's, what am I not wanting to look at? What am I not wanting to see that I need to acknowledge? What am I holding on subconsciously? What am I holding on to subconsciously that this is presenting an opportunity for me to let it go and drop it once and for all? Okay. So let's see. Clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Why is it here for the collective? Spirit, why is the Ace of Pentacles here for the collective? Trying to get these out before my phone's like, you ran out of space. I have like literally over 25,000 photos. It's ridiculous. So we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So how to overcome. One way to overcome is taking this new opportunity. When this new opportunity presents itself, it's taking it and detaching from anything else that is not in alignment with this. Whatever this new beginning is, this new offer, this new opportunity, this new seed that some of you are being asked to plant or that you are planting, this is taking that seed and leaving everything else behind. Some of you, this could be coming up in the form of a job offer. Okay. You know, that you're being asked to just, you know, you gotta leave. You're going to have to leave your stuff and just go. Some of you, that is what this new opportunity is. And you're being asked to trust it. Okay. Others of you, this is about starting over with someone, meaning apologizing. Or even if it's not apologizing, it's agreeing to disagree. Meaning you accept it for what it is. Not saying that it made it okay. Not saying that it was right. But it happened. That's the first thing, is accepting, okay, that it took place. Acknowledging that this happened. And now let's move forward, right? Let's leave behind everything else, right, that came with that. All the feelings, the emotions that I've been holding on to about this. Let's just start over and leave that behind. Let's leave all that shit behind and just start over fresh, okay? Some of you are being given an opportunity to do that. That is what, for some of you, this solar eclipse is, you know, bringing up for you at this time. Okay. It does. And like, it's not going to necessarily be easy. Okay. It may take some work. It may take some, you know, cleaning out the energy, cleaning out, you know, letting the emotions go, letting the emotions flow, purging, right? For some of you, this doesn't have to be physical. It can be. Okay. Some of you though, this, you know, this is about just releasing though, energetically releasing that energy, releasing whatever's been pent up and built up that you've been holding on, that you've been storing internally. This is letting that go. Okay. Others of you, this is about making room physically. I notice for me, when I notice that I need a purge, sometimes cleaning, it helps. Even if you've already, there's really nothing to clean, just the motion of doing that, it cleanses the energy in your space, because everything is energy. So some of you might really benefit from decluttering if that's what's necessary, or, donating things, okay, giving things away. Right? Especially for those of you that are being asked to walk away, to accept a new job, a new opportunity, a new offer, whatever that is. Some of you are being asked to move. Okay. You might end up donating. Some of you are being asked to, like, kind of, if you're getting an inkling to clean, like, why am I being asked to, like, just donate stuff, to start packing? Some of you, that's your indication. They're going to be asked to move. Okay. They're going to get a job offer to move. Okay, go the distance. Be flexible at the bottom. Okay, poised. This is like opportunities. This is like being ready to be ready. So meaning when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready to go. Some of you are going to be presented some type of opportunity here. Okay, to leave it all behind, and you're being asked to take it. It's fated. It's happening exactly how it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. Okay, and the only thing that will hold you back is you. Period. Okay, make sure you follow your intuition about what this is. Okay, see the situation clearly, see it for what it is, see it for what it's not. Okay, So, let's get a message of advice from your ancestors, your benevolent ancestors, meaning the ancestors that want to see you do well, that are here to help you, to support you, to push, root for you and cheer you on. Those ancestors, okay? Those are your benevolent ancestors. Not all ancestors are here to help you. Not all of them want to see you do good, okay? And that's just the unfortunate truth about it. So, message from collective's benevolent ancestors. What is the advice? Hell yeah. What a beautiful way to end this reading, you guys. So we have card number 10, okay? 10s represent the new start, the fresh start, the new beginning, okay? The 9 is the completion, okay? So we have divine feminine. And y'all see the planet here? Moon. That's why I wore black lipstick today, okay? Because this is me honoring my dark feminine energy, okay? See all that darkness? That is the feminine energy. That is where your creativity lies. That is where your magic lies. That is where your power lies, in the darkness and what you don't see. This is exactly what this card is talking about here. Diving deep into the darkness, into like the abyss, right? That's where the magic lies. That's where you find all the wonders that are within you, okay? So advice from your ancestors, your benevolent ancestors, is divine feminine. So this is about being open to receive, okay? This is about going to that deep, dark depths of yourself, of your soul, the parts of you that you ain't wanted, that you, some of y'all ain't wanted to be looking at. You ain't wanted to look at it, right? That is where you find your magic. That is where you find your power. That is where you find your strength, is in what you're hiding from yourself, what's hidden, what feels and seems dark. That is where the magic lies, in the darkness, okay? That is your feminine energy, is the darkness. If you notice that when they go diving deep into the ocean, right? And they're like, oh my God, it's so dark down there. But when they get down there, it's like a whole nother fucking world. Why do you think that is? Okay? That's where the magic lies. So some of you, your ancestors are asking you, collective, to dive into the darkness of yourself. Okay? Tap into your own magic. Go into the shadows of yourself, because that is where your power lies. That is where the gifts that some of you have been asking for, that you've been waiting for, that you've been trying to connect to, that is where you'll find it, in the feminine energy, in your creative energy. So this is also about being open to receive, okay? Don't ask for what you're not ready to receive. If you're not really ready to receive love, don't ask for it. If you're not really open and ready to receive new opportunities, don't ask for them, okay? This is about being open, being receptive. Okay, that's what the feminine energy is that we ask for things, and then when the things present themselves, we don't know how to accept them. If you sit like this a lot, you're closed off, okay? You're not open. You're not open to receive, because what is that? The cross is right there over what? It's right over the heart, okay? So that's just, mindfulness, right? Be mindful of your body language, because it's even though you might not be thinking that with your mind, it's subconscious. And that's, again, what this reading is asking you to look at, what we're doing subconsciously. So that's a subconscious thing where it's comfortable. Of course, that's a symbol right there in itself. It's comfortable. It's comfortable to be closed off. It's comfortable to not, be open and receptive to things because it makes you feel weird. It's like, if I'm open, then that means like there's a potential for me to get hurt. There's also a potential for you to receive something beautiful. So you're being asked to get out of your comfort zone and be mindful, okay? Be mindful of your body language, because it's an energy. It's a frequency you're emitting to the universe when you do this. That's like a mudra, okay? You're telling the universe that I'm not open to receive your blessings. Even though I asked for it, where is it at? Well, you're, giving off the energy that you don't want it. That's just like asking someone for a hug, but you're sitting like this. You think they want to hug you? No, you don't look like you want to hug when you're sitting like that, right? But when you're open like this and you say, I want to hug, then, someone feels like, okay, I can hug you. But if you're sitting like this and asking for a hug, that's kind of like, I don't know if I should come close to you, because I don't know if if you want to hug or I'm going to get punched. Like, I don't know, right? So just be mindful and be open, okay? So, last thing. So, I'm going to get you guys a time frame card, okay? So this is regarding anything you might want a time frame for, okay? This is, and remember, tarot is not guaranteed. It's not, the end all be all right? So, but for those of you that have been needing a time frame or been looking for a time frame for something, go ahead and ask your question, okay? And I'll pull you a time frame card. All right, so you could pause the video if you need. Take a few seconds to ask your question that you would like a time frame for, okay? All right, let's get it for the collective. Before the winter months, okay? So the winter months are basically past, so this could be talking about next winter, okay? Let's get one more for the collective. It's a time frame, okay? No time frame can be determined at this time, okay? So for some of you, this could definitely be by the next year, and look, 12 months is at the bottom. So for some of you, this is basically a year's time, okay? And it's interesting because at the bottom of this deck, we also have autumn. So for some of you, whatever time frame that you're asking about is going to be next winter, next autumn, basically next year, okay? So that's what I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please thumbs it up. Please share it with those that you might feel can use it, may need it. And until next time, you guys, I'll be